100 million dead birds are just the beginning, because this pestilence is far from over, Michael Snyder writes. Did you know that an extremely vicious virus that is currently sweeping across the globe has already killed more than 100 million birds? If you haven't heard about this yet, don't feel bad, because most people in the general population don't know about this either. Like so many of the other nightmares that we're facing right now, the mainstream media continues to downplay the bird flu crisis and continues to insist that authorities have everything under control. But of course, the truth is that they don't have this outbreak under control. Flocks are being steadily wiped out all over the planet, and prices for turkey, chicken, and eggs just keep going higher and higher. If the bird flu spreads even faster in 2023 than it did this year, it won't be too long before we have some pretty serious shortages on our hands. Over the long Thanksgiving weekend, it was being reported that the official death toll in the U.S. has now reached 50.54 million. That makes this the worst animal health disaster in U.S. history. More than 50.54 million U.S. birds have died in what is the worst avian flu outbreak in U.S. history, according to data from the Department of Agriculture. Reuters reports it also marks the worst animal health disaster in U.S. history. But it's perfectly normal for tens of millions of our turkeys and chickens to be wiped out, right? Unfortunately, this pestilence is not just limited to the United States. In fact, the UK and the European Union are also suffering the worst avian flu crisis. Losses of poultry flocks sent prices for eggs and turkey meat to record highs, worsening economic pain for consumers, facing red-hot inflation and making Thursday's Thanksgiving celebrations more expensive in the United States. Europe and Britain are also suffering their worst avian flu crisis, and some British supermarkets rationed customers' eggs purchases after the outbreak disrupted supplies. We have never seen anything like this before. According to CNBC, the number of dead birds in the EU alone has reached nearly 50 million. Governments across Europe have culled bird populations to limit the spread of avian flu. Almost 6 million birds have been killed in the Netherlands since October 2021, while Spain, Bulgaria, Denmark, and France have also been badly affected. Nearly 50 million birds have been killed in Europe this year as countries try to contain the disease, according to the EU Food Safety Agency. Actually, the figure is a bit old, but I was not able to find an updated one. But if you take that number and add 50 million from the United States, that gives us a grand total of approximately 100 million dead birds, and that does not even account for the remaining of the globe. For example, nearly 3 million birds have already been wiped out in Japan, and at this point the bird flu is beginning to spread like wildfire in that country. Cases of the highly pathogenic avian influenza or bird flu are spreading at an unusual pace in Japan, with 18 outbreaks confirmed this season through Saturday at poultry farms in 12 of the country's 47 prefectures. But that number is expected to rise further in line with global trends. This has truly become a worldwide crisis. Past outbreaks have either greatly subsided or completely gone away during the hot summer months, but that did not happen this year. In 2022, the virus continued to fester during the warming months, and now authorities are concerned that things could get much worse during the cold months that are in front of us. The virus has mostly impacted turkey and egg operations, sending prices to all-time highs and contributing to soaring food inflation. While the spread slowed down during the warmer months, it continued to fester and now risks further spread as cooling temperatures prompt more birds to migrate, Bloomberg said. Of course, this comes at a really bad time, because if you follow my work on a regular basis, you already know that global food production is being hit hard from countless directions right now. The UN has already been warning us that 2023 will be a year of famine in many areas of the planet, and so it would be very helpful if the bird flu were to disappear. Unfortunately, that's not likely to happen anytime soon, and actually we have been extremely fortunate so far. If the bird flu were to mutate into a form that humans can catch and spread easily, we would rapidly be facing a global health scare of epic proportions. Up to this point, it has been rare for humans to catch the bird flu, but when it does happen, the death rate can be as high as 60%. But when the bird flu does infect people, it can be quite severe, with the mortality rate estimated to be an approximate 60% according to CDC. So that's devastating, obviously. Can you imagine how frightened people would be if such a virus started spreading among humans in our major population centers? The panic would be far beyond anything that we've experienced over the past few years. So this is a story that we will want to keep a close eye on. For years I warned my readers that we're moving into an era of great pestilences. Sadly, the times I warned about have now arrived. Of course, what we've been through so far is just the beginning. The pestilences that we're actually currently dealing with will continue to spread, and more are coming. Millions upon millions of people have died up to this point, and tens of millions more will eventually die. A lot of you have been waiting for life to return to normal, but that's not going to happen. Global events have begun to spiral out of control, and things are only going to get more intense as we roll into 2023. It's finally here, Michael's new book entitled End Times, now available paperback and Kindle on Amazon. About the author, he says, my name is Michael Snyder. My brand new book titled End Times, now available on Amazon. In addition to my new book, I've written 6 other books that are available on Amazon, including 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future of America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters, commissions earned. When you purchase any of these books, you help to support the work that I'm doing, and one way that you can help is by sending copies as gifts to family and friends. Time is short, and I need help getting these warnings into the hands of as many people as possible. I've published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, Under the American Dream, and The Most Important News. And the articles that I publish there on those sites are republished on dozens of other prominent websites all over the globe. I always freely and happily allow others to republish my articles on their own websites, but I also ask that you included this about the author section with each article. The material contained in this article is for general information purposes only, and readers should consult licensed professionals before making any legal, business, financial, or health decisions. I encourage you to follow me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, and any way that you can share these articles with others is definitely a great help. These are such troubled times, and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, I strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. This is by Michael Snyder on the Economic Collapse blog. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.